The intricate world of global politics is far more complex than what meets the public eye. While elected officials, diplomats, and military leaders receive most of the attention, a hidden network of private contractors exerts a profound influence over U.S. foreign policy. These entities operate in the shadows, shaping decisions, deploying resources, and executing strategies that have consequences across continents. Private contractors are not merely support staff. They are specialists in areas ranging from military operations to intelligence gathering, cybersecurity, and strategic consulting. Their roles have expanded over decades, evolving from auxiliary support to critical actors, capable of influencing major policy outcomes. This transformation reflects a broader trend in modern governance, where state power increasingly intersects with private enterprise. Historically, private contractors emerged during the Cold War, a period marked by covert operations and proxy conflicts. Governments relied on external firms to provide services that were politically sensitive or technically complex. Over time, these firms developed into sophisticated organizations, offering expertise in areas including security logistics, intelligence analysis, and operational support for high-stakes missions. One of the primary advantages of contractors is their operational flexibility. Unlike traditional military units, they can be deployed rapidly to regions where the U.S. seeks influence but wants to avoid the political cost of overt military presence. In doing so, contractors allow policymakers to achieve strategic objectives with reduced visibility and minimal public scrutiny. Financial incentives play a significant role in shaping contractor influence. Multi-billion-dollar contracts for services, ranging from logistical support to intelligence operations, create strong relationships between private firms and government decision-makers. These relationships, while operationally beneficial, also introduce questions regarding transparency, accountability, and the potential blending of public policy with private interest. Private contractors also influence foreign policy through their specialized expertise. Governments often rely on contractors for insights into political dynamics, regional security threats, and operational feasibility. These experts provide detailed assessments that inform the planning and execution of U.S. operations, from humanitarian missions to military interventions. In Iraq and Afghanistan, contractors played pivotal roles in security, intelligence collection, and logistics. Their ability to operate in hostile environments enabled the U.S. to project power while limiting direct military exposure. The success and failures of these missions often hinged on contractor performance, demonstrating the strategic weight these private actors carry. Cybersecurity is another area where contractors exert influence. Firms specializing in cyber defense and offensive operations manage critical intelligence systems and networks. Their work informs strategic decision-making, shapes threat perceptions, and affects the deployment of resources. By controlling information flow, contractors indirectly shape policy choices in high-stakes arenas. The ethical and legal framework surrounding contractors is complex. Unlike uniformed military personnel, contractors operate under varied regulations, often in ambiguous jurisdictions. Their dual status as private entities executing public objectives creates a tension between efficiency, accountability, and ethical governance, which scholars and policymakers continue to debate. Financially, the private contractor industry is vast, with billions of dollars allocated annually to firms providing critical services. This scale of investment ensures that contractors remain integral to U.S. operations. Across the globe, the competition for these contracts encourages companies to cultivate deep expertise and maintain close advisory roles with policymakers, further entrenching their influence. Contractors also operate in regions where traditional U.S. military presence would be politically sensitive. In Africa, for example, firms provide security for resource-rich areas, advise governments on stability, and mediate disputes. These operations allow the U.S. to maintain influence while remaining under the radar of local populations and competing powers. Collaboration between contractors, think tanks, research institutions, and technology firms amplifies their strategic impact. Analyses and simulations generated by this network often inform high-level decisions. The integration of field operations with analytical expertise ensures that contractors are not just executing orders but shaping the decisions that govern operations and foreign policy strategy. In addition to operational and analytical influence, Contractors affect policy indirectly through scenario planning and risk assessments. Senior officials often rely on contractor-produced reports to guide diplomatic initiatives, military strategies, and economic interventions. This indirect power illustrates a modern phenomenon. Influence is increasingly exercised through information and expertise rather than direct authority. Contractors' operations in Africa and the Middle East highlight the strategic utility of these entities. In Africa, they provide security for oil, minerals, and other strategic assets, advise local governments, and assist in capacity building for regional forces. In the Middle East, contractors protect embassies, secure critical infrastructure, and facilitate intelligence collection, enabling U.S. influence without full-scale troop deployments. Technology-driven contractors have transformed intelligence gathering and analysis. Surveillance, data mining, cybersecurity, and satellite monitoring are frequently outsourced to private firms. By controlling the flow of information, these entities play a critical role in shaping policymakers' perceptions of global threats and opportunities, giving them a form of indirect yet decisive power. Private contractors' global footprint is vast and multifaceted. In addition to military support, they facilitate diplomacy, enforce sanctions, and manage logistics for humanitarian operations. By operating across multiple domains, they enable the U.S. to project influence subtly while retaining operational discretion. Africa has emerged as a critical theater. Contractors secure strategic resources, advise governments on political stability, and support local forces. Their presence counterbalances the growing influence of China and Russia, allowing the U.S. to maintain strategic advantage without deploying large-scale military units. In the Middle East, contractors operate in conflict zones, protecting infrastructure and conducting intelligence missions. By acting as intermediaries between policy intent and execution, they allow the U.S. to pursue objectives with reduced political and diplomatic risk. Their operational flexibility ensures rapid responses to evolving geopolitical conditions. Beyond conflict zones, contractors engage in intelligence synthesis, risk assessment, and scenario modeling. These analyses inform national security strategies, economic planning, and diplomatic approaches. By translating raw data into actionable insights, contractors wield influence over policy outcomes even without formal authority. Contractors' financial dimension amplifies their strategic impact. Government contracts worth billions annually incentivize firms to develop advanced capabilities and cultivate close relationships with policymakers. This dynamic ensures expertise is available when needed, but also raises concerns about the intertwining of private profit and public strategy. The technology sector has become central to contractors' influence. Cybersecurity firms, data analytics providers, and surveillance specialists shape intelligence gathering operations. Their tools and expertise inform decisions on military deployment, foreign investment, and strategic alliances, illustrating how technical dominance translates into geopolitical leverage. Contractors often bridge the gap between operational execution and policy design. They collaborate with think tanks, universities, and multinational corporations to provide context, analysis, and recommendations. This integration allows policymakers to make informed decisions based on comprehensive perspectives that extend beyond conventional government channels. Legal and ethical questions remain pressing. Contractors operate in jurisdictions with ambiguous regulations, and their accountability is often limited. Balancing operational efficiency with ethical governance is a challenge for both policymakers and oversight bodies, particularly as contractor influence continues to expand. The role of private contractors in shaping intelligence cannot be overstated. Their expertise in signals interception, satellite monitoring, and cyber operations provides the U.S. with critical insights into global threats. By controlling access to such information, contractors indirectly guide the decisions of senior officials, influencing strategy in ways that are rarely visible to the public. Contractors also enhance diplomatic flexibility. By functioning as commercial entities, they can engage with host nations or local actors where direct U.S. military presence would be diplomatically sensitive. This arrangement enables nuanced influence in regions of high geopolitical importance. Financial incentives reinforce the contractor's position. High-value contracts encourage firms to maintain advisory roles and cultivate networks within government institutions. While these relationships support operational efficiency, they also raise questions about transparency and the potential for private interests to shape public policy. In terms of operational scope, contractors span multiple theaters: Africa, the Middle East, Asia, and maritime regions critical to global trade. Their multi-domain presence ensures the U.S. maintains strategic leverage across military, economic, and diplomatic arenas simultaneously. Cybersecurity and technology contracting are increasingly central to foreign policy. Private firms develop and operate advanced tools for surveillance, intelligence analysis, and cyber operations. Their assessments influence how the U.S. perceives emerging threats, determines military posture, and shapes diplomatic engagement. The integration of contractors into policy formulation has created a complex network of influence. By collaborating with government agencies, think tanks, and private firms, contractors help craft strategies that blend operational capability, technological expertise, and analytical insight. Contractors' presence in Africa illustrates their multi-dimensional impact. They advise local governments, train military personnel, secure strategic assets, and support intelligence collection. These activities extend U.S. influence while avoiding the political ramifications of overt military involvement. Ethical and legal concerns persist. Contractors operate under diverse regulations, and often in jurisdictions with limited oversight. Their dual role as private entities, executing public objectives, necessitates a balance between operational efficiency and accountability. Private contractors also play a significant role in economic and strategic initiatives. They support sanctions enforcement, facilitate trade security, and provide operational intelligence that informs economic diplomacy. By doing so, they influence global markets, regional stability, and U.S. strategic positioning. Contractors' analytical capabilities extend beyond immediate operations. They assess political risk, economic conditions, and potential conflicts, feeding insights into policy planning. Their work often informs decisions that shape military deployments, foreign aid allocations, and diplomatic initiatives. The U.S. reliance on contractors reflects a shift in how modern power is exercised. Authority is increasingly distributed between elected officials, uniformed forces, and private actors. Contractors' combination of operational capacity, intelligence insight, and technological expertise underscores the evolving mechanics of contemporary statecraft. As geopolitical competition intensifies, the role of contractors in Africa, the Middle East, and Asia will expand. They serve as flexible instruments of policy, capable of advancing strategic objectives while maintaining plausible deniability. Contractors' involvement in intelligence and technology operations has reshaped the modern battlefield. Their cyber capabilities, satellite surveillance, and data analysis inform high-level decisions, ensuring policymakers have actionable insights. This technological edge allows the U.S. to maintain strategic dominance in both conventional and unconventional arenas. Collaboration with think tanks, universities, and multinational firms extends their influence. Contractors synthesize data, produce risk assessments, and model scenarios that guide diplomatic and military strategies. This networked approach magnifies their impact beyond operational execution. Ethical and accountability considerations are central. Limited transparency, ambiguous legal frameworks, and the blending of private and public interests raise questions about governance. Policymakers and oversight institutions must balance operational efficacy with adherence to legal and moral standards. The global reach of contractors is unmatched. From securing maritime trade routes to supporting intelligence operations in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, they act as force multipliers for U.S. foreign policy. Their presence allows the U.S. to project influence efficiently, discreetly, and with minimal domestic political cost. Contractors also contribute to shaping international perceptions. Through intelligence, advisory roles, and operational presence, they influence how allies and rivals interpret U.S. intentions. Their work directly affects the strategic calculations of nations worldwide, demonstrating the subtle but pervasive nature of their influence. Financial incentives reinforce strategic alignment. Multi-billion-dollar contracts ensure that contractors maintain the expertise, capacity, and networks necessary to operate effectively. This financial scale underscores their centrality to contemporary foreign policy. In conclusion, private contractors form a hidden but powerful web that extends U.S. influence globally. Their operational capabilities, technological expertise, and strategic insights allow the United States to maintain power discreetly and efficiently. From Africa to the Middle East, Asia, and strategic maritime zones, contractors operate behind the scenes, shaping outcomes across military, economic, and diplomatic domains. The story of contractors illustrates a fundamental truth about modern power. Authority is increasingly exercised through private expertise, alongside public institutions. While elected officials and uniformed forces remain visible, contractors exert influence in ways that are often invisible but profoundly consequential. As global competition intensifies, the role of private contractors will likely expand. Their blend of operational agility, technical capability, and strategic insight ensures that the United States can navigate complex international challenges while maintaining discretion. Understanding this hidden web is essential to comprehending the modern mechanics of U.S. foreign policy and the unseen forces that shape global affairs.